a bit uncoordinated in some of these early skirmishes, and those things, it's like a domino effect that you lose control of a lot of the game. Anyways, up into the live timing now, because Orianna is still banned, and Tullia and Azir were both used in the previous match. Guess what? Ryze is king. The actualizer is here.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, one of the answers that is up and available is the Casio. I feel like it used to always be called the counter. In the phase rush era, I don't really feel like it's that much of a counter anymore. It feels like more of an answer. But maybe some of the phase rush nerfs do affect the matchup a bit. Hard to say. Ryze also, you know, got the little baby W nerf and everything, but hasn't really felt like it's very noticeable.
You know, with the little nerf.
Little slap on the wrist.
But then his items, you know, his turbo strong, so you know, I think it'd probably be all right.
Slap him on the wrist and slip a 50 in his pocket.
So, I think Anivia is the more real counter nowadays, and that one has been getting, you know, ever since Worlds has been quite popular. So I do like the Anivia version into it. We'll see though, because this team fighting is a little bit different, and you do have a lot of wave clear, but Anivia Yunara is a very strong like AoE team fighting combo of carries. And so that I kind of like this core double carries for LYON that they're starting with.
The other thing I was going to say is I feel like Anivia is insanely difficult to play into when you're a really short-range team, but can struggle against poke, right? So yes, you're always going to have that isolated matchup, but DSG gets to draft 4 of their 5 picks knowing there's Anivia on the other team, right? So, you know, if they draft themselves into a corner with a really short-range team, well, that's your own fault. So yeah, we'll see how the Anivia is going to succeed.
And especially, like, it's a similar thing as far as the strengths, with Yunara having a lot of strengths versus a lot of melee clumped-up champions too. If you draft yourself into a clump, then you're not in a very good spot, because Yunara is going to be splash damage, bouncing back and forth on everybody.
It's an ugly clump.
Yeah, I have yet to see a very good-looking clump, actually. I think by definition, no,
can't be a handsome clump.
There's no artistic clump unless you know they're trying to like sell you on some extremely overpriced low
can't
effort.
be like what a handsome clump of casters that are casting today.
Well, if it's us.
Yeah, I mean, we can be, you know, I mean, there's exceptions to every rule.
True. That's us. Oh, Trundle. Okay, so Trundle also got a little bit of a buff on the patch. So coming right back here, Trundle, the pillar and Anivia wall and Anivia ultimate there's so much.
Give me some Poppy. Give me a Poppy support or something.
Oh man, there's just so much stuff that LYON can put to annoy you. So many slows. They can create so much terrain for themselves as well. This LYON comp that they're building right now is gonna be able to do a lot of terrain building themselves.
And I like that they're banning out some of these long-range ADCs, right? The Varus had already been banned out phase 1. Kai'Sa was gone from last game, so you can't play poke Kai'Sa. Ezreal now going to get banned out. So we talked about how poke can be really effective against this style of composition. Well, they're taking those options away. So we'll see where they want to throw this final ban. It's going to be Lucian, so we're going to deny any possibilities of Lucian Nami and that sort of thing. Corki was gone, which is another one who can kind of poke and prod. So it will be more difficult for Sajed to actually look for something that is a bit more able to get involved without really exposing yourself. There's still things like Jhin if you want to be able to follow up. You know, that can be pretty effective. Obviously, Xayah stays safe from dive, but you can't R over the Anivia wall, so it's actually not really a good pick in that way, especially because LYON don't want to hard commit. They're not looking to dive. They're looking to control the fight, have it go slow, you know, create these kind of sections of control with the Trundle and the Anivia, and allow Berserker to do his work. Like, this feels like a comp that is built to keep Berserker safe and have these extended fights.
Yeah, Berserker on Yunara, hyper carry champ, and they've got a brick wall in front. They've got an ice wall, they've got Pillar of Filth, and they've got Sion himself. So
Trash wall?
Trash wall, yeah. Is it even called Pillar of Filth anymore? I think they changed him to be more ice themed, so.
Could be.
We'll have to call
it. Is until we look and find out that it's not. In our minds, it is.
Aphelios can be long range with green gun.
That's true.
There
and
he's
got a green support to keep him safe here.
You are on it today.
Yeah,
look at this.
It's got the lantern.
It's connecting all the dots.
Just ones and zeros. So I'm locked in today. We're getting going. Now they're gonna have a wall. Another wall.
And a door.
It's just a wall comp.
It's just a wall. You just wall at them.
It's crazy. They just need one more and then you can have a house, right? Because they got 3 walls.
Yeah, I mean, it's also crazy Freljord synergy here. It just, you just can't really walk around any of this team fight. Like, this team fight is crazy from LYON. all of the CC and slows and setup here.
I like their comp way more.
They're going to force you to be a clump. Whether you identify as a clump or
You're
not,
getting clumped.
they're going to make you be a clump.
Yeah, well.
That's rough.
DSG, you know, pretty short range, and they are pretty hard engaged. Trying to engage through Braum. Braum feels like actually a killer last pick here to bring the comp together. When you have Renekton Wukong, like, they kind of have to send it. I do think it's going to be really difficult for a DSG unless they get way ahead and then kind of all bets are off. You know, maybe they could try split pushing, trying to punish the Anivia in a side lane or something like that. But I love what LYON has drafted.
Yeah. I guess like the only way it fails is if bot lane gets targeted and Berserker just gets blown out of the water and you just have no money on your Yunara.
Or if you like subbed us in, you'd probably fail then too.
Yeah, we could do that. We could fail that bot lane. That could be us in there.
I can make that go bad.
I got a 0-6 in me. I got a 0-10.
That's light work. Well, we'll see if LYON can pull it back, force us to what would be I think our first 6-game day. We haven't had a double 3-game day just yet.
Wow,
so.
record setting.
Yeah, record setting. We're looking for it.
Could be us.
Or we could just get clumped in with all the other 4- and 5-game days.
No. Yeah, not that, anything but that.
It could happen.
All right, Sajed. He had a very good Kai'Sa game here. Choosing the Aphelios into this comp. Let's see how they operate. I think if they have a way to win, maybe bottom lane is it.
We will see, but we have Raz standing by with DSG's head coach, Ido.
That's right, got Ido right next to me. First of all, taking the dub versus LYON in game 1. Was that something you expected, especially with Cryo's debut?
Yeah, I hope I never expect to lose. That would suck.
Yeah.
Cryo's debut going pretty good. He had obviously some misses with the Pantheon ults, but he's working it out in real time. A little bit of stage nerves, but I think he'll be fine.
When the team was built, and of course you guys have been scrimming with him, what did you envision Cryo's role necessarily?
Yeah, I think the way that I view jungle is jungle can be just as much of a carry as AD carry or mid lane. So you should let them eat as much as they want. You should play off of their timers. I think that's the best way to play the game. So helping him embody that, helping him learn it's okay to eat camps, slow down the game, make sure that he's strong. And last game that worked out pretty well too, aside from like some team fight oopsies. But yeah, I think he did a good job doing that.
Before we send it to the casters, thoughts on the composition here?
It's a little weird, honestly, for game 2. They don't really have too much engages. They're kind of expecting us to like run into them. So I had a word with them before that, you know, they don't really have engage. The only way that we lose is like we go way too deep, way too fast. Just hit front, play on Aphelios' screen, and it should be pretty good.
Sweet, thanks a lot for the interview. Gonna send it straight back to the casters.
Okay, I mean, if they walk up and they start stacking dragons, like if they get to dragons early, and they've got, you know, Braum and Trundle and Sion in front, we'll see how those ones do go. I like the confidence here. And the last final words, you know, calming words for your team, always nice. Send them in there. Relax. You know, they can't win.
They can't clump us. We can only clump ourselves.
Yeah, just don't clump ourselves, and it's all good.
Yeah. It's also interesting hearing, you know, his kind of take on how jungle should be played at pro level. I got to talk to Ido before the season started, and he kind of reiterated a similar thing, where he was saying he thinks that a lot of pro junglers are going about it the wrong way. He thinks that the team should play for jungle and really inject gold into the jungler. The jungler shouldn't just be sacrificing and making themselves weak because of the reason he was saying. He thinks they can be just a strong carry.
I tell my flex Q team that every single night. Every night. Here we go, though. Looks like bottom Scuttle Crab. Easy peasy for Inspired, and it will be split to the top side for Cryo as well. Nice delay on the back. It cost LYON it cost him a little more. The flash has to be used because of the pillar and the collapse here. So he gets an interrupt onto Trundle, which, I mean, look at Wukong right now. You know the Grump is respawning, and so you're gonna have a ward watching it. But because your first clears are done so quickly and the second clears, you know, like instantly start, junglers have a couple extra seconds anyway. So that interrupt is not really gonna deter Inspired at all. Like basically Grump is spawned now, so I lost 1,000, 2, 1,000. It was alive. Like that Grump could be thanking him maybe, hey, thanks for my extra 2 seconds of life.
Yeah, and I mean, Inspired ended up basing before Cryo anyway, because Cryo spent that time walking across the map to get the ward. So regardless, is not going to be delayed too much. But we have an update, a critical update in this all-important matchup. Because the accolades were looking a little bit uneven last time around, but Kryra has been able to add to it. He now has beat the reigning MVP Inspired in his LCS debut. That's a pretty good accolade.
Also, you got a thumbs up from production right there. That's the biggest one.
You don't even get a thumbs up for being a 4-time champion, for being a 3-time MVP. That's kind of crazy. Look at the producer bias on this one.
Yeah, actually, I mean, you got trophies and blah, blah, blah. Don't care, but...
But you beat the guy with the trophies. Thumbs up.
There you go. All right, well, game number 2 here in this series, though, LYON, it would be very big if they lose here, and they go down to 1-2 in this lock-in tournament, bringing in such star power as we keep on going over the story here with Inspired, as well as Berserker. Some pretty high-powered pickups for this squad. And if they were to go, especially if it's a 0-2, versus DSG here, I think very few people would have predicted that coming into this, this season.
And we know it's not determined yet because of tiebreakers and so on and so forth. But I mean, TL is 1-2 as well, right? Like that is super surprising. TL was kind of the de facto #1 team as far as the power rankings. People had LYON
Scrim rumors.
And Scrim rumors. People had LYON in various places, but a lot of people did feel like, hey, LYON could be competing for a championship. LYON should be a top 3 team. So to have both of those squads here off to a tougher start. Of course, LYON could still come back in this series and win, and then that changes the story a little bit. But yeah, not having the start, I think it's fair to say that they were hoping for.
All right, well, let's see about this bottom fight. They did have vision over the entry from Inspired. And that ward is going to die in Tribrush as of now. Scuttle Crab being pushed up to the top side.
Oh, they're going to Realm Warp. They're going to try to look for this fight here. Kryra has 6, can't quite get in range. Nice attempt, though, with the Realm Warp right as Wukong hit 6.
Honestly, I love that the whole talk of, like, every single game where I was like, all right, that level 6 crab is coming up. Where is everybody? And no longer has it, like, determined the whole game. We haven't had people dying over it. But bottom side for the level 6 crab means you also get priority into the dragon. And so the rewards are like quadrupled for winning that little push and shove around the bottom side of the map.
And you're talking about where is everybody. I think LYON was wondering, where is Saint? Because he was the one that wasn't there. He was, late to actually arrive to the play. He was trying to run over there, but I think had taken a base. And Callme was that difference maker. He shows up. LYON does have no flash, but is going to be able to back off. Nice hook, forces out the cleanse on a Berserker as he had been rooted up by Sajed. So just a trade of summoners there. And LYON is able to use the spellbook cleanse to stay safe on the Braum passive.
Okay. Kind of a little bit scary, but topside is actually more scary for LYON. Dhokla here is losing in CS. Castle has been able to get 1 turret plate. I don't know what your metric is for how far you feel okay with a Sion getting behind versus Renekton, but I think Castle's doing quite a good job here, earning a decent amount. 400 gold lead for himself, and 7.5 minutes feels like a pretty good pace for the extra advantage here.
I agree. I think he's doing really, really well. I kind of think if you can this is really good for Castle now, but if Dhokla can keep it dead even, I feel like if you stay within 2 waves and you can kind of defend your tower, then you're usually doing okay, right? That at this point in the game is significant. That in 15 minutes means nothing. So that's kind of generally how I look at it, is Sion should bleed some CS early, but as long as you can stabilize and kind of keep within a couple waves of CS, then you're going to be really happy later on.
Want to see, too, how much side lane pressure DSG can get out of that, because that's one of the big things here is that they do have Ryze and Renekton for side lane pressure for later, and Castle's going to use his ultimate pretty early here on Dhokla to get a very, very nice trade here, getting a lot of his HP down. And Dhokla, of course, neither of them have their teleport cooldowns, so that's why he's going for the extra pressure. He had some distance there from the mid lane. You could walk him down. The damage over time is one of the biggest things about the Renekton ultimate. That was the area that they kept buffing when they were trying to get this champion back in. And so it is critical when you're using, especially your early ultimates, get some good walk down value, get some good time while they're actually, burning down there. So he's trying to soften them up, trying to keep Dhokla a little bit concerned. And if you can keep your pressure up as the Renekton, get access to popping more tower plates by the crystal pop mechanism.
Yeah, and I like that from Castle, especially because not only did Dhokla have no TP, but he ulted back to lane, the last time he actually based. I should have that TP back up pretty soon as well as the ulti, though, so as long as Dhokla doesn't get dove or anything weird, he will be okay.
And look at that. I'm pretty sure he got the second turret plate. Renekton was up at the tower, I can see on the minimap. So bottom side, they're getting turret plates. Top side, Castle just got his second turret plate. So both sides for DSG early on, grabbing some turret plates here. Still gold lead for Berserker, though, as he returns.
Yeah, and you could see that LYON was very worried about Kryra coming in down for a potential dive. They didn't have any eyes on him. They saw that he'd walk down to their bot side jungle, and so they respected the fact that he could be there. Kryra, of course, just based, and he's farming top side, but that does earn DSG's bot lane a little bit of reprieve. It's allowed them to catch up a bit here.
All right, replacing some vision on Inspired to look at the clear down towards bottom once again.
Oh, nice hook comes in, and this is not going to be cleansed away. LYON is just trying to back it up here as Azael's blocking some damage. Berserker, though, does get hit by the Infernum ulti. Will they chase in further? Doesn't look like it, so it's a trade of ultimates. The heal used from Azael as well, as Berserker did not have his cleanse back.
I mean, you heard Ido play around Aphelios. If Aphelios, has some space to work with, and you got some good Thresh lanterns for mobility here, then get some extra money. Maybe they can work away on that other turret plate as well. Then that would be the biggest area for them to start. Kryra, though, exiting past the mid lane where they have their control ward. No real option here. We continue to farm.
And Berserker now does get back. He will catch some of this wave, but the lead is gone in bot. So Sajed, gets some help from that, implied threat that Kryra had, and then they win a trade. They push him back. He's also a little bit ahead on the call, so going to be pretty happy about how things go, despite the fact that, they are into maybe a bit of a tougher matchup. Can be difficult for Thresh playing into Braum, but farming even like this, I think you're going to be really happy.
Yeah, nice little bit of pressure. And the return here, Aphelios will get there just in time. LYON's gonna pull the wave a little bit. How many does he get? Every single one. Nice. He should be able to clean up all these pretty effortlessly. Meanwhile, the Trundle and the Wukong, same Trinity Force timers here. Both these Trinity Force junglers. I mean, Wukong especially has the opportunity to try and look for some flash plays with ultimate, with Trinity Force spike. I mean, yeah, the LYON team is very good defensively, but you can still pull off some really good flash engages onto a Yunara. Wukong is one of these jungle champs that can put a lot of pressure onto Yunara. Let's just see, it might even occur here at this dragon fight, approaching from two angles.
Yeah, Callme does get walled off, but the stun does not connect there from Saint. Isles and Berserker down below, and the TPs are going to be coming in here. Sion going to arrive with the rest of the team. Castle had already TP'd in early, forces the flash there from Saint, but they are split up. Who are they going to engage on? LYON does get that big hook on a Berserker, but he cleanses away on a Kryra, trying to get it. He does slay the dragon, flashes back in, knocks up Berserker, now dashes out to the Braum. Well played by Kryra, dancing around the team fight. Dhokla's locked up, he's going to be knocked down, and Callme once more, trying to chase in onto Saint. Won't be able to find him, but it's 2 kills and the dragon, and how about Kryra dancing around that fight?
That was beautiful. I also love the DSG preps so well. They approach, they get to the dragon first. So that was going to be the big difference maker. Okay, if we have to approach this LYON team, they're good defensively, that could pose some problems. But they have pressure, they go early to the dragon, they are on the same side. So when LYON approach from 2 different angles here, bottom lane coming up the river and top side, Saint and Inspired, that's not real threatening because DSG have 5 members top side of the fight. So Saint has to flash. You have to respect that. And then he goes back in, and we're going to get, the dragon picked up for him because Inspired's been rooted all the way over there, so it's an easy dragon smite. But the cool thing is he escaped. Flash over onto the Yunara, then dash over, kill off the Braum as well. Berserker's going to have to flash out because your team has priority, has the pressure. You're all grouped up. You're able to chase them out, and LYON, they're just split. This comp, like I said, you can't engage, and so if you're approaching from 2 different sides, it makes it very tricky for you to have real pressure on any one target. You can't really focus target like DSG could, and DSG just calmly, I think, played out that fight quite nicely. You focus one side of the fight, force away their resources, go back on the objective, no chance of a smite steal, Inspired too far away, and they get more than they came for even with the extra kill.
And I love, that flash from Kryra, because not only does it get him back in on Berserker, he flashed over Dhokla's ult, so he's able to dodge the sign ult too. It's just really, really well played, but I gotta say, LYON in a lot of moments in this game just don't look like they're on the same page, right? You know, like you're saying, they're so split up. How is Anivia really supposed to enter that fight? How is Trundle supposed to walk into that fight and even have a chance at stealing it? You know, Inspired never even got on the same screen as the Dragon. He was never going to have a chance to actually 50-50 that. So definitely looking tough for LYON. And though, you know, I liked their draft a lot, you know, when we were actually coming out of Champion Select, they are now way behind and, again, going to be in a pretty tough spot.
All right, Big Dokes finishes his Sunfire, so that Sion with the ultimate is the, you know, primary engage. You're hoping maybe like, all right, there's gonna be Trundle pillars and Anivia walls and stuff to make it hard for enemies to move. But I think the biggest thing is if they get behind too early with this and you're not able to have a very big effect while you're grouped, it's also gonna be hard to attend to your side lanes. Ryze and Renekton side lanes here are gonna constantly have pressure, and so you know, theoretically, DSG can keep on gaining resource advantages on the map here, putting pressure, moving in, getting jungle vision super deep in, and then you get to see the next moves that LYON are going to make. And immediately they're going to rotate over to that Rift Herald after placing some fairly deep vision, but Kryra's going to reset it.
And I really like the point you made about, you know, being first to the Dragon, because to me it's like, that's clearly how you want to function as both teams, right? You know, if LYON are there first, and all of a sudden DSG was the one having to walk through, you know, a Anivia wall and all this zone control, and then you're getting funneled in, and someone steps forward, and now they're walled off, and they're getting focused down, that's incredibly hard. But because they showed up late, they're now way behind. And when you're playing a team that is great at counter-engage, but has no engage, your comeback mechanics are there's a lot fewer, right? Because generally when you get down, you're like, all right, let's make a pick, right? But that's not really going to be an option, and Saint may just be going down. Has no flash. Good wall, though. Keeps himself safe for now. But Castle could look for a redive. Saint trying to keep him away, trying to stay safe here, but he has overstayed his welcome. He needs to leave. He's back into the egg. Will Castle go back in and try to finish him off? I don't think so. I think he's going to be happy with popping that passive, as Inspired is going to come down here now and try to look for the play onto Castle. Does he have the slice and dice? Can he get over the wall? Flash followed there from Inspired, and Castle I don't think is going to have anywhere to go now. Looking like he's out of luck. They want to give it to Berserker, and they're going to be able to. That is nice. LYON not only get the kill, but they're able to give it to their most important carry now, Berserker.
Yeah, 100%. They need Berserker to have enough money to carry these team fights. That Yunara definitely has the capabilities of putting out the damage if they can fund her. So very nice luxury there that they're able to actually give it. So the slice and dice, and you saw no hesitation from Inspired. He flashed over that wall. He's like, you are definitely going into Berserker's pockets here. I'm going to make sure of it. Nice little pop-up there from him as well. And Berserker gets a little bit more money. It's still not going to make up fully the gap that they had. And Sajed as well, going to be able to tap a turret plate.
Yep, and is looking strong, moving towards that IE. No flash on Inspired. Remember, they're trying to focus him down, and he gets bursted to start the fight here. Castle on the side, going to threaten.
Just got deleted. Red, white, good night, Inspired. He just gets deleted off the map. Hit a death sentence, and now LYON are thinking, well, the rest of us are here. What do we do now? I guess we're trying to watch because we know they're taking Dragon. But we just lost our jungler right before the objective even came up, and you're sitting there hands empty. I guess we all leave now. Yeah,
I mean, there's the punish on the flash that was used to kill Castle. They catch Inspired, has no flash. They get that kill on him. And pretty early on, Saint, like you said, realized nothing we can do here, so he just runs up towards that top side. Again, we are faced with a really quick soul from DSG. Last game, it was about 20 minutes when they got their third Dragon. This time it's not even 18, and they're on soul point. And that is going to be really difficult to deal with. Callme going forward here onto Saint as LYON's going to flash in, finds the follow-up hook. And remember, he has no passive, so there may be a punish back the other way. Good flash out, though, from Saint. And now the stun coming down on Lyonz. He's got no flash because he used it aggressively. Inspired arrives, and they're going to get the kill onto Lyonz. Just barely Saint survives. Comes up with a pretty important play, but did he overextend? Oh, my God.
Okay.
I wonder if Lyonz kept autoing if he just kills him there instead of actually going for the hook. That was close.
All right, Callme now.
They are going for the recall, but will they go for the play? Isles now in the area. Callme flashing forward, does get one back. Nicely done as Saint does fall. You can see Renekton down towards that bot lane working on the tier 2 tower, so he is farming up some plates. Sajed could be in a bit of trouble as Dhokla trying to threaten him. He'll just back it right off and respect the threat there. So a lot of scrapping, but at the end of the day, the gold swing stays pretty even, and Inspired has hit his MasterCard power spike there with the Trinity Force. Of course, had that for some time, and is looking pretty powerful with it.
Yeah, interesting stuff up there. I mean, it got a little dicey, a little spicy at the end. In the end, though, Flash invested from Callme to make sure that he gets a counter kill on the play. We'll see if that Flash ends up getting punished, but he just didn't want to go down without taking somebody with him. So, you know, I respect that.
Respect.
I feel that.
I got mine.
Yeah.
What else is the team doing?
You're going to kill me? I'm taking somebody down with me. I'm good for one.
Yep. Die in a team fight, but you get one kill. I got mine. Why did we lose the fight?
Well, we'll see if anything happens with him not having Flash later, but we'll see. Honestly, he still should be able to have some pressure split pushing. I mean, Realm Warp is very, very useful in those endeavors, and bottom side already is a long lane for them, having taken that tower. So Castle is able to push the long lane on bottom side and get some extra time to roam.
Yep, and I do like that he's playing upgraded Swifties. Makes a lot of sense. You're playing against Anivia, Trundle, Braum, Yunara slow, even Sion has the slow. There's so many slows on this team, so Swifties definitely smart tech here. It'd be interesting to see, you know, we have Swifties as well on Sajed. I was going to say I kind of expect him to go for it also, and he has.
All right, this Herald here going to finish up the mid tower. Now we've got bot and mid taken care of from DSG. Methodical gameplay. Bottom side minion wave does need to be attended to, as at least Dhokla was able to push that one out. But I have to say, DSG have been very good at progressing the game.
Yeah.
They have not wasted a lot of time. They have been very calculated in all of their objectives, you know, arriving early, arriving on time, and everybody kind of doing their part. So next step on the checklist is going to be getting your vision for the Dragon Soul. Just make that approach to the fight so insanely hard for this Lion team that the only thing you possibly have to worry about is a Sion ultimate. And that's not even that hard to deal with.
You can Wukong clone that even. Yeah,
you can Wukong clone it. You got plenty of options here. So as long as they can go get some extra control wards there, like they can make it so difficult for Lion to approach. And Lion themselves trying to carve out an area of the map to work with at least.
Yep, and it's going to be tough for Lion, but yeah, have to be there first, have to find some way to get pushed, but they just can't really respond to this Ryze in the side lane. And Anivia is just so much more at risk moving around the map. They're trying to see, is Sajed moving too far forward? Can we punish him? The answer is no for now. But as long as DSG don't see anyone, your side lanes are pushing. You don't need to do anything. You're just chilling, waiting for them to show up, because otherwise you're going to get a free tier 2 bot, and that looks like that's going to be the result of this play, or at least some damage on it.
Yeah, and Callme, his Ghost is almost back up. Even without your Flash, your Ghost is so much mobility here for the Ryze. Side lane pressure, very easy. As you say, confident as well to be able to push these out. And so they get them both pushed. They get the full rewards now. You can collapse first.
Yeah, Inspired was trying to move forward there. Was spotted by Castle, was camping out on the blast cones. They were considering an engage. DSG definitely in the area if Inspired goes too far.
20 seconds on the Mountain Soul. Pretty big durability boost, and Callme. Nice little exchange with Saint ahead of time, knowing,
good interrupt with the pillar there on the Lantern. Callme's gonna get flashed on by Isles. In comes Dhokla. Can he find him? Knocks him up and knocks him down. MVP play with the pillar from Inspired. Castle is behind them though. Kryra gonna disengage. Will that be enough to grab them the dragon?
That was clean timing right there from Inspired. And right before the Dragon Soul, this guy is clutch. They purchased themselves an MVP. Maybe it was just in time here as far as the play for Lion. Now they've got the inside route on the Dragon. DSG are still trying to approach a little bit here, though. I think that is very ill-advised, and Lion will be able to secure the Mountain Dragon themselves and a little bit more.
Yeah, Castle has to slice and dice out. Kryra forced to flash as they were really overstaying. The Dragon, I think, was pretty gone once Callme died, but they said, you know, maybe we can fight for it, do something, you know, catch someone out. But Kryra does end up losing that Wukong flash, which is extremely valuable.
Yeah, it really kind of throws off your timing. This Baron is dark, though, and there's a white gun Aphelios inside that Baron pit.
Yeah, and Callme's going to realm warp right over into the pit, so they are on this. Dhokla going to be able to scout this out. Inspired in the area. Do they just stick it? It's down to 5K. It's getting low now. Still getting hit. They're going to stop the damage for now. In goes Inspired and Dhokla. They're trying to tank this up. Inspired's been pushed out of the pit, though, so they just focus it down. It's secured there by Kryra. Castle on the side, trying to slice the Nice to safety. He's alive for now. Callme's going to get lanterned out. He's still alive. DSG on the run, but how long can they stay up? Dhokla going to get hooked up the wall. Castle still somehow surviving as Dhokla against all odds is the first one to fall, but a great wall is going to section off Sajed. And Sajed goes down. Isles and Dhokla try to chase Inspired here as well. They want to push the wave. They're going to try to cancel the base here, surely. Isles does go forward, cancels it onto Kryra. Callme now caught out into a weird spot here. He's going to get interrupted on the Lantern play. Inspired cutting back. Lyonz not able to connect on the hook. Berserker pushes it up, but they can't get more.
Yeah, they were sweating up against the wall. Saint ran out of mana, though, on the Anivia, and Berserker had pushed the wave into the top tower, so LYON will be able to get the tower at the very least for themselves. Still 3 remaining members with the Baron buff for DSG, and this is a tough one. They go, all right, we're going to push Inspired out. He flashes away as Aphelios was on him. That secures the Baron, but it costs them almost all of Castle's HP, so their front line's going to be gone. They have to run. Here, Sajed used a flash right there. So then afterwards, when they turn around to burst Dhokla here and they move back up a little bit, now he's got no flash to get out of this wall. And the Sion gets a little revenge there with Big Dokes in the zombie form collecting. At the end, I mean, the terrain creation that we kind of were highlighting for this team early in Champ Select with the pillars and the walls, these clutch kind of interrupt timings on lanterns. They did another little one up on the top side, but you can see why Ido said it's okay. We just play on Aphelios' screen. Everybody kind of play around one screen length from Sajed.
Yep, just trust in your boy, and we'll see if he can take them to the promised land. He's been on 3 items for a while. It does have that LDR completed. Berserker has his IE completed, and he's had those Fiend Hunter bolts for a long time, so the IE very big spike now for Berserker, who is going to be a threat. But of course, the problem is Callme snuck out of that fight with almost no health. That means he keeps the Baron buff, and it's going to make that split push that much more threatening. Yeah,
let's see about the return towards mid. Nobody gets hooked as of now.
Do they actually find a pillar here? Lyon's going to have to flash out immediately as Callme trying to get some damage down, but did he overstay? Are they going to look for the Realm Warp to re-engage here? Sajed takes that Lantern back. Nice hook there onto Dhokla. Does interrupt him as Callme has to flash over the wall as he was being pressured on the other side. No one going to go down. Just a trade of summoners there, as it was Dhokla's flash, as well as the flashes of the Ryze and the Thresh.
Pretty interesting stuff here, because we have like 2 kind of sides of it, with a couple flashes traded here yet again. Callme losing some more mobility resources. I don't know if this is going to become a problem for them, but it could be an area that LYON try and attack when they attempt to push these side lanes. Stop the recall on Big Dokes.
Nice smite there. Does interrupt the recall. Sajed trying to get the damage down over the wall. In comes Isles to try to defend him. Kryra's caught off on the side, and Kryra's going to get burst down by Berserker. Saint goes into the egg. He's alive for now. Castle arrives with the TP as LYON surely want more. The Ghost was popped there by Callme, now expires. Berserker threatening forward. They won't get any more. Isles comes in just at the right moment, keeps his top laner alive, allows them to get a kill back.
Yeah, sounds pretty beefy, and they kind of went in for the attempt here. Thought they caught him on the stop on the recall. End up losing a little extra themselves, but this Dragon, still 50 seconds, so there's plenty of time for Wukong. And Wukong's flash will also be back up. So Kryra will be back. He will also have flash. I don't know how much money he has. Look at his GAs. He really wants to complete the GA for the Dragon Soul fight. He has the components at the moment. If they could squeeze that out, it would be so, so big.
Yeah, that would be massive. You can see Saint now completed his actualizer off the back of that. So he's on 3 items. Same items there on the other side for Callme. Sajed just the pickaxe on top of his 3 items, whereas Berserker has completed his 4th. So Berserker actually way ahead in gold now, up 2K. So it's kind of the inverse situation of last game. Berserker definitely has an opportunity to carry this one.
Yeah, for sure. And especially if their team does get here first, like they are now, because trying to cut through front to back through a Braum and Sion front line here, that are backed up by a very fed Yunara could be difficult. So you might need like Wukong and a Renekton flank, which Castle is trying now.
Castle just now got spotted. He walked over that ward, but no one pinged him out. Did they not notice? They're not reacting to it whatsoever. They're going to go forward instead. Lyon's going to be caught on the wrong side of the wall. He's going to get knocked up there by the decimating Snash. Now Castle being marked. Callme being pushed back. Berserker dashes in. He's trying to take him down. Sajed flushed over the wall, trying to get one back. Sajed kills him, but not before he goes down from Berserker. Lyon's over the wall, lands a hook. Kryra's left alone, and it's Lion running over the fight here. This time, they get the best of DSG. Berserker went huge. So much confidence in that fight.
Yeah, you can see it. DSG know, all right, well, we can't get through all this, you know, Sion, and look at this wall over here on the side. Lyonz is getting burned down, then the Braum, it's like too hard to get there. So they're trying to all flash on Berserker. Sajed even flashes over onto Berserker. Berserker flashes up, and that causes everybody to expend so much in their endeavors to take down the Yunara that they do in the end, but it costs them everything. And it's just so hard to get through all of these Freljord champions. They're so durable, so much CC.
Look at the relief there. Feeling some stress, safe to say, on the Lion side.
You can say that.
Yep. Expectations are high for this team. They built a very expensive roster. And, you know, with that comes the expectations that you are going to be a top-level team. So Reignover definitely knowing, hey, if things are going bad, that's going to be some pressure on me. So very happy to see them win that team fight. They were pretty down early, but have been able to claw it back. 3 straight dragons for DSG. Now Lion have won back-to-back fights, and Berserker is ridiculously strong. Already had 4 fully completed items. Now has the QSS and a Vamp Scepter on top.
And this is the stage of the game, which is why we were getting worried when we saw the champ select. We're like, oh man, that 5-on-5. Woo! Lion are looking very beefy, and they're going for a dive even.
Yeah, Berserker, though, going to be potentially in some trouble. Gets exhausted, QSS's it. There is the GA pop. Lion's looking like he's going to fall as well. As Saint going forward, trying to finish him off. Can't quite do it. Sajed, though, focusing on a Dhokla. Dhokla getting low, but he is still alive. Callme on the side just gets deleted there by Berserker and Saint as he tried to come in. DSG know from this spot, they kind of have to try to find clever angles, but they're just getting picked off as they move forward.
Yep, cannot get in. Berserker knows he's the target, and he's not too scared with all of his bodyguards around him. They're going straight into the base. Middle inhibitor tower immediately down. And look at the timing windows here. It's going to be a desperate defense. Can Sajed and Castle and Lyonz pull out a miracle?
Castle popping the ulti, knows he can't waste too much time. They're trying to trim out that wave, but a new wave is coming in. Sajed on the side looking for some damage onto Inspired. Gets chunked a bit himself. Castle on the run from Berserker. The towers are being focused down. The last tower is gone. Sajed tries to make a big play. Knocks down the Anivia, but only into the passive. Kryra comes back up for the respawn, but Inspired eyes on the Nexus. He is not messing around with kills. Inspired wants to tie up this series, and he will do so. We are going to the first 6-game day of this split so far.
Record-setting day at the LCS. Banger here, too, as we go to a deciding game coming up right after this. All right, Lounge, how you feeling now?
I'm feeling like we're in for the long haul here. 6 games, the max we could have, and they have been bangers in this series in particular. 1-1, Lion tie up the series. They do not want to go into that 1-2.